It's late in the day, so I'm trying 5 right, 4 down in darkness. I'm thinking when I tried the 5 right, 5 down in darkness this morning, I was pretty impressed with it, so I might try 5 down in darkness and 6 right, which is very far right. But anyway, so we've basically got 4 litres of sand there, and we're basically going to get some eggs, two eggs for each 4 litres. In other words, 8 eggs for the 8 litres, which makes up basically a bucket, because basically one of those milk bottles is 2.4 litres, almost 2.5. 4 of those makes a 2 gallon 9 litre bucket sort of thing, basically, or it's basically 10 litres to the brim, basically, because we're using 1 egg per milk bottle there, so 4 for the bucket. What could be simpler? Surfacted sand and 4 eggs, very cheap. If it works, well, I mean, that's what sand culture is all about, isn't it? So basically get our tripod as per usual, and there's another one there, that'll be for the other 2 eggs. So yeah, basically. Oh, it's going to be a high one today because I can't get the legs down. Not a case of being able to get your leg over, but that's why they want you basically. That's why I want you to do it in sand culture, and that's why it's the international standard. Because you end up growing really nice plants, and all you've got is surfacted sand and eggs, and that's all you need. You basically replace the peat. This so-called 50-50 peat and sand, if you replaced it with, you basically, well, what do you want to call this? Your meat and 2 veggies. Well, vegetables are very sweet, aren't they? So, yeah, so you never know. Is that what's going on? Yeah, well, that's why I call it, with all these grasslands, that's why I call it the universal surfactant, How much acreage of grasslands are there on the planet, and what about bogs and swamps and things? They talk about marshes, don't they? Talk about being grassland, swamps or things, but I always think it's sort of, with all this sort of terminology, it's either too defined or not defined enough, you know what I mean? That they don't actually stipulate what the differences are, the line. When you step over this line, it's not a marshland anymore or something like that. Or when you step over, this is definitely a fen. If you cross over this line, you can't call it a fen anymore, blah, blah, blah. They never really, I think the reason is because you can actually have things that are a bit of both, actually. So you can have, if you've got a lot of grass growing on a fen, because it's a grass that can actually cope with the fen-like soil, is it really a marshy fen, or is it a fenny marsh, rather than a Bodney marsh? But anyway, yeah, cricket joke there. It is Aussie, don't you? Anyway, so basically, that's one side. So, step 1, if you choose to accept it, and if you really want a cheap rare grain CP, so the idea is to try and use this reductive universal surfactant to keep the organism in the nice red state. Because I'm wondering, is that what's going on in the red leaf bases? The organism is giving up the nitrogen to the plant in return for, it's got a sweet tooth, in return for sugar sort of thing, and therefore that's why it's not green. It's green when it's full of nitrogen. If it gives up the nitrogen, it goes to this magenta red thing. So the more nitrogen is given up, the more magenta red, less red, more magenta it is. That is what I'm really trying to say. So basically, step 1 is mixing in your universal surfactant into the sand, which it's quite reductive, of course, so that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to keep the organism, so basically the protein of the egg, the white albumin and the yellow. So that's the whole point about the sand culture, because if we can get it down to just 2 things in sand, then you start questioning, well, what is it about the proteinaceous nature of the egg? Is it the albumin or is it the yolk, you know? And you can divide the albumin, the white from the yellow, and do it again and see what happens. If the organism goes green, if you just use total yolk, well, you've got an answer. If you use all the albumin and it stays in the pink form, you've got another answer. So basically that's what we're doing. So maybe I need to go on to spot colouring. Maybe I've forgotten to do that. I don't know. Yes, I probably have. Okay, we're on spot colour now. And I'm trying the different light settings, you see. Yeah, mix it up, get it going. Okay. There we go, all in there. Now first I think we're going to mix it in first. And then we can use the power of the sand to grind up and mix in the egg yolk. We'll see how we go. I mean, if you want to do it professionally, you probably get the egg yolk and you probably scramble it in your bloody... So, are we actually going to scramble the egg? Is the reductive power of the universal surfactant in the sand going to... So there we go. I think we've basically got that there. And then we just add our 2 eggs here to this 4 litres. And of course we'll add another 2 eggs to the other half. It's just I haven't got them readily at hand at the moment, the other 2 eggs. So, what do you think of that? Is that too simple? Is that just too bloody fucking simple? If it works, you know, so no more buying expensive peat, cheap sand, clay pit sand, universal surfactant, buy it in bulk, and it's, again, it'll be dirt cheap, available all around the world. It grows nice CPs. Do you really want to add your bells and whistles? If you just want to grow the plants reasonably well, better than they do in the wild, blah blah blah. You don't want to grow humongous plants, you know. You just want standard. You stick them in, they don't die, they don't go back, they start growing, they look good, they're nice and colourful and blah blah blah, and everybody's happy. They start multiplying, you've got enough to swap with friends. There's no bloody social politics, which has been the trouble in the past. Oh, because we had the old buggers not telling us that their plants were coming from the wild, so therefore they probably had wild soil. No wonder they look so big and so robust and colourful. They probably had wild organisms growing on their bloody, as they mycorrhizae in the leaf bases and things like that, you know. Anyway, we'll see how we go. So that's basically that. So tomorrow I'll just put it in the bucket and we'll flush it and bang, we'll put some plants in it, and she should be off and running. It'll be interesting to see how quickly the soil either greens or pinks up, you never know. And therefore, you can also add polystyrene later on, if you need to. Maybe you find the polystyrene keeps the organism in the nice magenta red sort of colour stage. Then you might surmise from that because you know that polystyrene produces a bit of flammable gas in solution, it's probably that's keeping it in the red form. Anyway, so that's that one done. I just have to get another couple for this one. So okay, well that's about it for this one, I think. See you tomorrow when I put it in the bucket. Okay, over now.